Aloha and welcome back to the Kupuna Connections TV program. I'm Cullen Hayashida with Kapi'olani Community College's Kupuna Education Center. Every week we talk about various topics having to do with seniors, those in need of long-term care services, as well as those that want to remain independent in the community. This week we have a very interesting topic having to do with home modifications. But before we get started with our topic, let's have everyone introduce themselves, starting out with my co-host here.
Okay. My name is Toni Hathaway, and I'm a social worker by profession, and I'm the education coordinator at the Kupuna Education Center.
My name is Michael Dowell, and I'm the president of Stay-at-Home Modifications.
Okay. Thank you very much, Michael, for joining us today.
Thank you.
So, as we mentioned, our topic today is home modifications, how to age in place. And as we all know, we've got more and more seniors in the community. More people are retiring, but people want to remain at home for a longer period of time. So this whole issue with regards to home modifications, for seniors, can you tell us what this means and why is this important?
When a senior is able to live in a home that is safe and comfortable, they have a higher quality of life, and they're able to live more independently and age in place, as they call it. So when modifications are done in the home that address the safety and comfort issues, they're actually able to extend their stay in their own home because they're more independent, the home is safer, and they're able to decrease the need for people to provide them care during the day, like home care providers or family members. So you're actually extending the amount of time you're able to live at home.
Sometimes you use the word home modifications, sometimes people talk about renovations. Is this the same thing?
They're a little bit similar. Renovations, I would believe, would be more like gutting a bathroom or a kitchen. Home modifications, what you're trying to do is adapt the living environment to the individual person's needs. So that might not include, removing an entire bathroom. It includes such simple things as just some grab bars, removing throw rugs and obstacles that might be in their way.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
So who can benefit from home modifications?
People of all ages can benefit from home modifications. People with children with disabilities, baby boomers that are taking care of their parents and planning for the future. But it actually benefits everybody. Having these supportive features makes the home safer for everybody. Okay. So, I see my son grab onto a bar when he gets into the tub, and he's only 10 years old, so it makes it simple for him.
I guess it makes it safer for everyone.
For everybody.
And particularly, as you mentioned before, the seniors who really want to stay in their home and age. I think that's the goal for all of us. None of us really see ourselves as being in an institution.
Right.
So one of the ways to stay at home, and as you mentioned, be safe, is to do some home modifications, some simpler, some a little more extensive, perhaps.
Yeah, exactly.
When you talk about home modifications, you mentioned the grab bars and some of these different things, but can you give us something, say something a little bit more specifically in terms of what is home modifications?
Home modifications are modifications performed in a person's house to increase their independence and ability to remain at home. So it doesn't have to be somebody that's elderly. It could be somebody with disabilities, veterans. And so you're trying to adapt the environment instead of making them adapt to their environment. So a lot of times what you'll see today is seniors, they don't really want to make changes. They've developed habits. They're used to things the way they are. So they've actually changed themselves to adapt to their homes, when it probably should be the other way around.
That's an interesting point.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is, if you, say, go into a senior's home, what are some of the most common types of problems that you see in the home that would benefit from a home modification?
Many times what I see is the stairs. They lack railings on both sides. They have poor lighting. They don't have the supportive features in a bathroom like grab bars and a handheld shower and the toilet safety rails and small things like that. There's a lot of obstacles or loose throw rugs. I see so many different types of throw rugs around, or they've got cords, that really prevent our trip hazards for them. So those are the most common types. Even thresholds, walking in and out of a house. A small step like that with somebody using a walker or a cane, it can have a tough time navigating that.
So it sounds like one thing you're looking at is fall prevention.
Right.
And what kind of hazards might be there that could cause a fall.
Yeah.
And looking at changing the environment by either maybe removing a rug, if that's what it takes, so
Yeah.
that it's not a hazard.
Yeah, yeah. But it's also other things. It's a lot of times I go into a home and when I'll see if they can open the big lanai door. And a lot of these doors are very heavy. And after years of use, the little wheels in the bottom get clogged with cat hair or stuff from the outside, and they can't move them anymore. So it's the little things like that where I just I can replace those wheels and make it so that they can open that door a little bit easier. Now they're able to go outside if they're doing any gardening or if in case of emergency even they have another access to get out of the house. So.
And that's one I had never really thought about before, but
Yeah.
that is a common
That
problem.
happens.
You're right.
You know, the leaky gutter that leaks on the front steps creates that little mold. And then when that gets a little bit wet with the slipper, it's like, they go skating right off it. So it's the little things you got to look out for. A night light is another easy thing, something that's motion activated so that when they get up in the middle of the night and walk near it, it turns on so that they can see where they're going. And that's an important thing, especially if they're a little disoriented maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, is there a particular procedure that you use to decide what kind of home modifications that is appropriate? Do you go through a home checklist, an assessment process? What do you do?
I typically start off talking if it's, I talk to the family members, and then I schedule a time for a home assessment. And the home assessment is two things. One, it is the environment, and two, it's how they interact in the environment. So a physical therapist will walk them through the house, through all their daily activities from morning until evening. So they're going to check how they get in and out of bed, if there's any kind of challenges there, how they use the bathroom. Do they have any difficulties getting in and out of the tub? Can they make it into the kitchen? And, they're looking for things like, what are they using to support themselves as they're walking? I see a lot of times where when I'm doing it, they won't show me that they're grabbing on this or grabbing on that, but I can see through wear and tear on some of the furniture and some fingerprints on the wall. I can pretty much tell you exactly how they're walking through the house.
So do you have a physical therapist come with you all the time?
I do the home assessments myself.
I see.
And physical therapists can also do it as well. They will typically, a physical therapist, again, is if you're bringing in daycare, somebody to watch your loved ones during the day, they'll do it just to get a feel for the environment so that they know what they need to be, what supportive features to help them manage the daycare,
So you have sort of an assessment list that you go through
Yeah.
and things that you're looking for.
Yeah.
And then you're also looking at how the person actually
Yeah.
moves through their home.
Yes, yeah, that's the most important. You want to see how they interact in their own environment.
I see.
And it's important because over time, you're going to change. People, as they age, their muscle, you get weaker. And so stepping over a bathtub might be tough.
Right.
So a lot of times they might not shower as much because they're afraid of getting in and out. So what happens then is, then they become embarrassed and they might become reclusive. And, that's not what you want. Whereas something as simple as, installing grab bars in the shower to help them, give them something to grab onto when they're walking into the tub with a shower chair and a handheld shower, that really lets them continue their quality of life because they're able to do these daily tasks.
Right.
You know? And that really goes a long way in improving quality of life for people.
Right.
Well, and maintaining that independence, being able
Yes.
to kind of do it yourself.
Yeah.
I guess, you know, we have some photos of some of the most common types of modifications, and we'd like to show those to our viewers and have you talk about
Okay.
what
we're
we're
seeing.
looking at
Okay,
here.
great.
So what do we see?
Now, this one was a recent project I did, and as you see, you have the old-style shower doors and the tub, and the client was having a tough time getting in and out. He was actually grabbing onto the shower door to get in,
Kinda
and then
shake.
using his hand to support the other way. Two very bad practices to get into.
Yeah.
So what I did was I'm able to come in and then remove the shower door, and with
We can go on to the next one.
Go into the...
and with today's technology, as you can see, you're actually able to cut the tub so that you have easier access in and out of the bathroom. And we removed the door, the sliding door, and then installed grab bars.
Oh, this
Yeah,
is...
there's the one.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
it is. Installed grab bars in a handheld shower.
Right.
What you don't see in there to the left would have been a shower chair.
Okay.
So now the danger is somewhat reduced and almost eliminated of him falling as he's entering the bathroom. And he's also easier now to do that daily function of taking a shower and cleaning himself. So, you know, he feels better, his quality of life is better, he's more independent, and he doesn't need assistance from a family member or a paid caregiver.
I see, and you can just make that nice cut there.
Yeah.
And then it's a low step.
Yeah, and what's nice about this type of thing is done in one day. You don't have to take out the whole tub. You're really not going in and disrupting their life for 2 or 3 days that it would take to remodel an entire bathroom.
Right.
You know.
How about the next photo?
Yeah. So tell us about this.
Now this one is a complete what they call universal design bathroom. It's the shower has, you can see it's got a bar to get into, and it's also very open. It's got a handheld shower in it, and it's the whole bathroom. As you can see, you have the sink. So in case that they have a wheelchair, they're able
They
to
can
easily wheel under
Under
it.
the chair.
And even in the shower, they're easily to get in and out of the shower too.
And there will be shower curtains, of course, as well.
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
I see.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so there's a lip there, so they have to sort of step over that lip
Yeah.
before they can walk in.
Yeah.
But this is not set up for a wheelchair per se, though. Yeah.
Not per se. You could probably put a small ramp in front of that if they
I
wanted to
see.
do it.
Yes.
Or some of the shower pans today even have collapsible gutters so that you can wheel in and then it'll pop back up.
I see.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And then this one?
And this is just a standard bathroom with grab bars. And you have 3 of them in case the long one you see there on the front will help them pull themselves out of the tub. And then the other 2, one is to enter and another one is to grab in as they're sitting down.
I
You
see.
know. So it's not just about one grabbing onto when you enter. You know, sometimes you might have them on an angle so that they can pull themselves up. And sometimes if they're sitting in a chair, which is another thing you'll determine in an assessment, you might have it up higher so that they're sitting and they can pull themselves up.
I see. Is it always recommended to have it horizontal rather than at a diagonal?
It all depends on how they interact in the bathroom. Again, if they're sitting and they like to take a bath, you're probably going to want to put it at an angle. If they say, no, I don't like taking a bath, then you just want something they can support while they're in the shower.
How about the size of that pipe?
You know, that's very important too. Standard sizes are 1.25 and 1.5. Most people seem to prefer the 1.25, a little smaller, especially here locally, you know, for Auntie, so she can grab onto it. You know, she's got smaller hands.
Yeah.
So that type is better.
And is there like a grip on that bar, or is it slippery?
It depends on which style you choose to install. Today there is a whole variety of grab bars that you can purchase to match your decor. I think some of the basic ones, they have a peen surface. So they're constructed out of stainless steel, and then they have like little grooves in them to help you gain traction on them.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, they do have, different colors. Some of them are white,
Yeah.
some are gold colored or bronze or silver, so they can match different decors
Yeah.
now too. They're not
Yeah.
always just kind of ugly.
Right, right, yeah.
I guess,
I've,
Yeah.
I've seen those suction cup types.
The suction,
Yeah.
I don't like the suction cup, it's, they can be unpredictable.
Yeah.
And that's about the best way I could say it.
Well, I don't think most folks that work with seniors ever recommend
Yeah,
that
yeah,
type.
and unfortunately,
They look like they'd be great, but
Yeah.
I don't think they would.
Well, I
do
thought
well.
I'd mention
Yeah.
that because
No,
for
that's
some people,
good.
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
have them still.
yeah,
And they're probably less expensive because you don't have to bring a plumber in or
Right.
somebody to work
Right.
on the home.
but even when you're installing those, you got to make sure the surface is clean.
Yes.
And if it's not, and you go to grab it, and it's, it doesn't do you any good if it doesn't hold.
That's right. That's right. More of a problem. And then we've got this other one here.
And this is an example of, you can see that the shower head, there's two of them. There's one main one, and then there's one on the side wall there. And that can go, that can slide up and down on that pole.
Ah, okay.
And it's also detachable. So what you can do when you have a situation like that, if you have a shower chair, you can rest the shower head on the side of the chair, turn it off, lather everything up and do your business. And then you can turn the shower back on and wash yourself.
I see.
And again, you have the grab bars that go horizontal across both surfaces.
Yeah, that's a nice feature to have the
Yeah.
handheld.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it doesn't look too bad,
No,
No.
not at all.
And this is another feature. Sometimes as we get older, it's harder to get on and off the toilet.
Absolutely.
So
That's a big problem, actually.
it is. And so, you have several different options you can do today. This is a grab bar that will fold up so you can get in and out of it, and depending upon, the layout of the bathroom. And then they have other ones that you can actually bolt them into the seat. And there's just two handles on both sides if you'd help push yourself off. And you can also purchase what they call a seat extender, and
I
it's
think
actually,
that's the next one.
it's actually just a 3-inch extender on your seat.
Right.
And that goes a long ways for some people.
Yeah.
It really makes a difference, and, and it's a touchy subject sometimes to talk about,
Yeah.
but it's all about how making it more easily to use, safer, and comfortable.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is relatively easy to install for you?
Yeah, it's like installing a toilet seat. It's just a couple of bolts, and it goes right on the back of the toilet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And this is another very important picture on something that's commonly overlooked, is making sure you have railings on both sides of your home. If you have a stairway, this one only has one, but ideally you'd like to, actually there is one on the other side there, you can see it. Ideally you want them on both sides. Some people are stronger in the left hand than they are the right hand. They might have medical condition that they don't have use of one of their hands. So you want to be able to give them options. And then below that you would have what they call a threshold ramp. And the threshold ramp, it extends the amount of space to walk into your home. So if you have a 3-inch threshold, which would be just like a 3-inch step, you'd want a threshold ramp that'd be about 3 feet long. And that gives you just enough incline so that if you're using a walking cane or a wheelchair, or even one of the assisted devices, the steppers, you don't have to worry about catching it on there or having to overexert yourself.
I see. How about the next one? Okay.
And this is for people that are using scooters or a wheelchair. This is an accessible ramp, and it is used to help people get in and out of their homes that have mobility issues.
I see.
So this would be used for somebody that has a wheelchair or a scooter.
Okay.
And here in Hawaii, I make these ramps because the shipping makes it sometimes cost prohibitive to ship a ramp over. So to alleviate that, we can build a ramp that's made out of wood and carpet like that so that she can use her walker to get in and out of her home. She had one in the front but she wasn't able to use her patio. And that's where she liked to sit during the day, and the grandkids were in the pool. So she wanted a ramp or a threshold ramp to help her get in and out of the backyard. And but again, she didn't want it to go straight out, so she wanted it to kind of come out and go to the left, so it wouldn't take up the rest of the patio space.
I see.
Yeah.
Is there a need for a handrail or anything of that sort?
Well, on typically something like that, you're only about 5 inches. But anything over that, you'd want a handrail on the side of it. She elected not to because she was, she didn't want to the grandkids, and that's the other view of it going onto the side.
I see.
Sort of a gradual slope there.
Very gradual. The more, the better.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's about what we have, Jen.
Yeah.
What
The
you shared with
pictures,
us. Yeah. So this type of service that you provide, does any of the insurance cover this? Medicare, Medicaid?
Unfortunately, they don't cover a lot of these things. About the only time they'll provide durable medical equipment if it's prescribed by a doctor. So if you've had surgery or something, they might prescribe a transfer seat in and out of the tub or something, or a toilet seat extender. But typically they don't cover costs for grab bars and the ramps and things like that unless they're prescribed by a doctor.
I see.
Yeah.
Where can folks find products and qualified installers to do this kind of work?
I think after you've had the home assessment and you've made a determination as to what is needed in the home, products, a lot of the basic products, grab bars, night lights, anti-slip treads and things like that, you can find a lot of those at City Mill, Home Depot, handheld showers and things like that, your local hardware store. But it's important when you're installing a grab bar that you know what you're doing. A lot of people will just single wall construction, they'll drill them right in, and it's really not installed properly, so it might fail on you when you go to need it. More extensive products, you can go to like a bathroom fixture store if you're looking at remodeling your bathroom. The internet's always a good place, but unfortunately a lot of seniors don't really have the ability to utilize that. So it's a good idea to contact your local aging in place. They can help you. And as far as being certified, finding somebody that has the ability to do this, the Home Builders Association has a course called Certified Age in Place Specialist, or CAPS. And they've been trained on how to install grab bars and work with the seniors to age in place. So they know some of the things to look for to recommend and help them install it. But family, friends, it's always good to find out who other people have used.
The city and county of Honolulu has an elderly affairs division and something that they refer to as an aging and disability resource center. Do those people have any familiarity with regards to home modifications?
They do, and they can lead you in the right direction. They have a booklet that's got a whole bunch of services that are very helpful to seniors. It includes home modifications and anything as far as transportation issues, getting to and from the doctor, legal advice, tax advice, and it's a really good resource for seniors to have.
Right.
So why would people be reluctant to do home modifications anyway?
That's one of the big issues. They're very they've made habits in their living environment, and they've grown old in these homes, and they like things the way they are, and they resist change, and they don't want to be a bother to anybody to ask them for help. And so a lot of it they don't even know that's out there. A lot of times they don't really understand the value of home modifications and how it can really increase their quality of life and make them more independent. So awareness is another thing. And I think another aspect is going to be the financing. How do they pay for it? A lot of people have on fixed incomes. They're on Medicaid, and they just don't have the resources, unfortunately.
Well, the World War II generation folks, they're pretty conservative as far as their funds are concerned.
They are. Yeah.
I guess one way to look at it, though, is that one fall could cost you a lot. I mean, it could even, put you in the hospital or possibly mean that you are institutionalized. So it is, it's a good thing to kind of think about in terms of aging in place and really staying healthy and being able to do things. If people have more questions about this, where can they go for help?
I like the office on the one Cullen just mentioned, and you can also go to the internet, which is another great resource. You can learn all about, you can get sample home assessments that are very basic. You can contact the Home Builders Association, and they have a list of certified aging in place specialists that can help you. And then Project Donna is also another good resource. They'll come by and do a free home assessment, and they'll give you information on obtaining help to get the things done that need to be done.
Now, you have a website.
I do, stayatHomeModifications.com.
Okay.
And there you'll find a whole list of resources about how to get financing, learning more about what modifications and home assessments, universal designs.
And what's the phone number that people can reach you at?
They can reach me at 271-5634.
Okay, once more?
271-5634.
Okay, that's very good. So I think this is all the time that we have right now, so perhaps you can share with our viewers one last tip. We've got so much information here, and one last tip.
One last tip would be don't wait until it's too late. Home modifications, they really do save lives. And it doesn't cost a lot, and it can really extend your ability to live in home and in the community and near everybody that you've grown to love and care for.
And perhaps the message that we're talking about is not just for the elders, but also for their adult children that are very concerned, and to give them peace of mind.
Yeah.
So I think that's about all the time that we have right now. Okay. So thanks a lot,
Thank you.
Michael Dowell.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes,
Dowell.
Dowell.
Yeah. And stay-at-home modification. So thank you very much for joining us today, and for all of our viewers out there. Appreciate your time here watching this particular show. Aloha.